Max and the Mystery of the Missing Meerkat. Once upon a time, in a sunny little village, there lived a curious boy named Max. Max's heart was full of adventure and his nose was full of mysteries. But what he didn't have was a mystery to solve. That is, until one fateful morning. On that bright and breezy morning, as Max was savoring his cereal, his mother said, "Max, have you seen our neighbor's meerkat, Momo? It's missing." Max's eyes sparkled with excitement. A real-life mystery had just arrived at her doorstep. Max runs out the door in excitement, accompanied by Momo's mistress, Mrs. Jenkins. "Max, dear, please help us find Momo. She has been with our family for years, and we are all very worried," she pleaded. Max reassured her with a determined nod. "Don't worry, Mrs. Jenkins. I'll find Momo for you." He was now on a mission. First, Max decides to visit the meerkat enclosure. It was a cozy place with a small burrow where Momo liked to hide. But today, the burrow was empty. Max wondered if Momo had just taken a little meerkat vacation. Next, Max asks Mrs. Jenkins if anyone has seen anything unusual recently. He mentioned that their other neighbor, Mr. Higgins, had seen something strange near the bushes the night before. Max was curious. Could this be a clue? Max and Mrs. Jenkins quickly arrive at Mr. Higgins's house. He welcomed them and shared his story. "I was reading my book near the window last night when I saw a shadowy figure near the bushes. She moved quickly, and I thought it was just my imagination." Max thanks Mr. Higgins and turns to Mrs. Jenkins. "I think we need to check those bushes, Mrs. Jenkins. Maybe Momo left a clue." As they approached the bushes, Max noticed some small footprints in the soil. They were fresh and taken away from the enclosure. Max pointed towards them excitedly. "Look, Mrs. Jenkins, these footprints could be Momo's?" Following the footprints, Max and Mrs. Jenkins head deeper into the woods behind their homes. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows on the forest floor. Max felt a chill down his spine, but he didn't let it overpower him. They continued on for hours, and when Max began to lose hope, he heard a faint rumbling sound. It was coming from the trunk of a small, hollow tree nearby. Max ran over and peeked inside, and there, hidden in the darkness, was Momo the meerkat. Mrs. Jenkins was overjoyed and relieved to have found Momo. Max gently picked up the little meerkat and they went back home. Back in the village, a crowd had gathered, anxiously waiting for news. When they saw Max holding Momo in his lap, there was a wave of happiness. Mrs. Jenkins couldn't thank Max enough for his determination and bravery. As the sun sets on this eventful day, Max realizes that solving mysteries isn't just about excitement, it's about helping others and becoming a hero in his own way. And from that day on, he knew that no matter how small or big the mystery, he was always up for the challenge. And so Max's adventures end, but his love of mysteries and helping others will always be with him. The end.